Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with the Fight Front once again. Just back with a real quick video here with just want to talk about Joe Joyce versus Bernmane Stiverne. Um, this was a fight that just kind of made me ask, what was this fight going to prove, or what is this fight going to lead to as far as like, Showtime making this like a showcase fight for Joe Joyce because we got Joe Joyce in there against a former world champion. They want him to step up in competition, get some experience, but because Joe Joyce is still very green just after watching some of his fights. What is it, 6-7-0, and they kind of been pushing him as like this next big thing. But as far as what I've been seeing, like there's still a lot of things that need to be worked on as far as his technique, and his just his overall technique and even his conditioning. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen that one standout thing to make me wonder why they pushing him like this so hard. But him going in there against a former world champion like Bernmane Stiverne, it sounds good on paper, if that former champ is going to come to give him work. But, Bernmane Stiverne, he just came in here. I was wondering, if he was going to take this fight seriously. You fighting a guy with, still in the single digits wins. So I thought you might really come there to, put it on him because I didn't think you wanted to lose to somebody with such a small record. But Bernmane Stiverne, he came in at like 273 pounds. And, from round one, he looked like he didn't want it, man, because Joe Joyce just came out throwing a lot of punches, landing on Stiverne's head like it was, nobody's business. And these were just like telegraph punches, too, just telegraph punches. He was just coming straight at Stiverne, where we seen Stiverne in the past just be able to use good head movement and duck punches. This is a guy who fought Areola, went the distance with Deontay Wilder once. So I felt like he was going to at least give some work on the championship level. But, he was just like came in and just taking everything Joe Joyce was throwing at him. And there was like one or two moments in round one where Stiverne was able to expose some little holes that I've been seeing in Joe Joyce. Like he bounced off the ropes a couple of times and landed that overhand right that landed good and hard on Joe Joyce's chin. But I have to give Joe Joyce credit. He took those shots well. He got hit with the left hook a couple of times too, where I saw Stiverne set up a couple of counters, but it was almost like Stiverne didn't have any energy to throw anything after those shots. He would just land one and stop, take like 6-7 punches, maybe land one punch, take 6-7 punches, and that's how it kind of went. Round two, it was just like watching a bag workout for me where, Joe Joyce, he was just like throwing power punches, throwing them in bunches, not really snapping Bernmane Stiverne's head back too much, but it was just like he was just landing plenty of leather on this guy's head where I was already wondering why the referee wasn't thinking of stopping the fight here. But, again, there was just so many moments where Stiverne could have landed a good counter because the way Joe Joyce was throwing his punches, he was just like squared up, even kind of off balance, just like throwing and throwing, but, still landing because Stiverne's not moving. So he really wasn't getting anything done as far as like anything where he could work on his craft, speaking of Joe Joyce. But Joe Joyce, he was able to knock Stiverne down in round three, finally after that many punches. But, he almost looked winded after, unloading so many headshots. But I thought the ref could have stopped it here, man. But, I was like, okay, they want to give Joe Joyce, this chance. They want to take on somebody who has experience. But, again, like I said, if the guy ain't showing any game, it's not going to help Joe Joyce because, all he had to do was just come forward, land, and land. But he really wasn't being tested on how to set up a counter in this fight too much. He was just coming straight in, chin out, hands down, throwing anything he wanted. So my round 5 and 6, like I said, more heavy bag work, from Joe Joyce, just landing a lot of punches, but not really taking him out, still not with the, ferocity where he's going to just take Bernmane Stiverne out. And then finally, man, in round 6, after like a series of punches where Bernmane was on the ropes, the referee finally decides to stop it, man. But like I said, man, this was a 6th round stoppage win for Joe Joyce, but it wasn't really like an impressive win because, we didn't have a former champ come to really give him work and really put him in, put him through hell for a 12-round fight, and like Abel Sanchez even said it, and it asked about him, Joe Joyce fighting the elite guys. He was saying that he wasn't ready. He was saying that he's not ready for Ortiz or Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, at this point where Joe Joyce is 33, I'm wondering, like, what is it that they see in him that they are pushing him on this network at, you know, such a high level? You know, it's almost like a co-main event. You know, it just makes me wonder, because at 33, I was thinking that he was really showing something where he, like, 2, 3, 4 more fights, he was going to be fighting somebody like Luis Ortiz. You know what I mean? But when Abel Sanchez says he's not ready, and, you know, I guess he feels he's not ready. But my question is, what's really next for Joe Joyce? You know, he can't really backtrack now, because that's what they're pushing him as his next big thing. You know, even if he is 33, you know, he still got to get that work in. You know, he's going to really get hurt. But, yeah, man, just wanted to go back and talk about this fight real quick, because, you know, like I said, I kind of want to know your thoughts on what you think of Joe Joyce. And from here, man, like, man, between, like, Bernmane Stiverne, James DeGale, and Brandon Rios, man, I got to say that Bernmane Stiverne, he's probably shown he's probably the one fighter I say definitely has to retire, man. Like I said, like, Joe Joyce didn't have enough pop to knock him out in like 2-3 rounds, but that accumulation of punches he was taking, you know, throughout 6 rounds, you know, like I said, whether they are really concussive like a Joshua's punches or not, you know, he was getting his brain beat to mush. You know, to me, you know, he was just taking constant punishment. You know, he was getting used like a heavy bag. So I really feel like it's time for Bernmane Stiverne to retire, especially, you know, when he's not training for a fight. You know, it's one thing if he at least gets his body in shape, you know, back in the fighting shape. But it just seemed like he just came into the ring, you know, I know, to get a check. But at the same time, you know, that's dangerous, man. So I hope he does the right thing, man, and, you know, retires, because, like I said, that was just some bad punishment he was taking, you know, especially from, like I said, a green guy like Joe Joyce, man. But, yeah, that's all I got on this one. Just wanted to go back and talk about the fight, you know, express my thoughts on what I think, you know, about this guy, Joe Joyce. But let me know what you guys think about him. Is he the next big thing? Do y'all think y'all see something in him that could beat somebody like Luis Ortiz? And what do you guys think? Do you think Bernmane Stiverne should retire from here? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe here, support the channel, Combo Breaker 99, and as well as the Jab Effect YouTube channel. I'm out. Peace.